What is the importance of Ijide Ani in Igbo cosmology? One unique characteristics of our cosmology or spirituality is its ability to hold adherents accountable. Whenever we are doing anything that we are doing in Igbo spirituality, we are doing it under the principles of Iwane, on Sochi, on Sagu, on Swalose, because we know that if we go contrary to these principles, there is a tendency of what we call Itigbu Mmadu. So all those things that falls under the jurisdictions of Iwane on Sobodo, we are expected to adhere to those instructions, just like in Christianity, where the 10 commandments exist, where sin exists. Now this means that for you to be in alignment with the Christian spirit or with the Christian God or Jesus or angels, you have to first of all adhere to those principles, those commandments. Now this is the same thing that we have in Igbo spirituality. This is why our ancestors instituted what they looked at is Ijide Ani, the principle of holding the land through certain rituals and certain rites, through the placement of certain power points at strategic locations, and most importantly, through the preservation of culturally accepted norms known as Nsani or Iwane. To activate this principle, our ancestors basically instituted shrines by tracing energies in certain locations, and at the pinnacle or confluence of that energy, they would institute a shrine in that place under certain principles, because they are how Alose or deities Agbara were instituted in those days. They had principles, they had processes, they had rites, they had protocols. They were instituted. Now the reason of instituting these shrines there and holding an is basically to enforce or enhance harmony within such community. Now this is why we refer to these things as Itigbu Mmadu when we go contrary to those instituted principles or to those instituted Nso and Iwane. Now with the destruction and the colonial mindset and the secretions of this PowerPoint, we have weakened the effectiveness of these processes, therefore allowing an uproar of characteristics or misfortunes that we look at it being on Igbo. Because somebody would basically do a certain thing and you be like, Igbo people don't think like this, Igbo people don't behave like this. So this is the origin of where all those things are coming. When the high rate of immorality, we talk about promiscuity, we'll talk about men not being men. Now for our men to basically relax and instead of going out there and looking for what to do, they decide to involve themselves in petty crimes. All those things are happening because we've weakened these principles of Ijide Ani. Because when we destroyed a shrine that is located at a certain place, we are already rendering that place useless, because it is going to disrupt the energy flow that ensures that Ani would basically act when a person violates or commits what we call Aro. Because when a person commits Aro, you're basically standing on Ani to commit that Aro. Now that Aro would basically start to speak against you. Now remember I said that we've weakened this process by destroying some of the shrines that we have in Igbo land. Now we weakened it, but we never nullified it. This means occasionally these principles are going to be applied and they are going to exercise their authority and the authority we give them. Now when we talk about Nsane and Iwane, what we are actually doing here is that as we are instituting this shrine, they are saying, as we are doing this thing you're supposed to help us in achieving this. You're supposed to do this for us. You're supposed to do that for us. Now that's why I said that they've been weakened, but they've not been nullified, because what the church tells you that they are destroying shrines, what they are only doing is destroying the physical representations of that particular shrine. And the essence of spirit there has lost its home or its obi, but it can always move into the shrine or obi of, let me say, a familiar spirit, because these spirits have some kind of kinship or friendship within them. They can move. That's why I say na onwere mmiri na mmiri na-eso okwu maka na ka ọ dị na mmụọ ka ọ dị na mmadụ. So once this happened, that spirit could basically move into the shrine of its familiar or kinship spirit. So when a certain thing is been happening and he knows that the land needs its energy to basically work, it will basically help. This is why we have things like Ohamwo or Oramwo when we are praying and saying our God for. You hear Igbo people say Oramwo munaya sowebiowa, Oramwo nedum, and all those things. So this is where the origin is coming from. Now, a recent illustration is what is happening in Okija, Okija, where an SMO a man took an office, a Dibia literally took an office, but he's not the rightful person to basically be in that shrine. Now he took over that place and began to desecrate that place, because what they knew Ogugwa Okeja is because of its ability to basically, serve justice. But they are now replacing what is happening there with Ogu. Hence reasons why somebody could go there, somebody will go there, and within months or within days, Onya Toralose will just suddenly die. This is Ogu acting. Deities don't work that way. They give time, they give warnings. You cannot report a person to a deity and expect that person to die even within a year. Unless that person is guilty, the person knows that he or she is guilty, but instead of going to go and basically make peace, the person will either decides to go and configure a certain Ogu. Then that person could necessarily die within months or a year. But when it's not this thing that is happening, the person is not doing anything. The person might not even be aware that somebody went and ate oyalosi or something like that, and the person suddenly died. This is pure Ogu, literally acting. Now, according to the story I heard, the man went to perform some of his works, and as he was about to put his bonani, the thing basically turned against him, and he's in a hospital. This is the deity at work trying to basically get back and punish that individual for desecrating that shrine. And this is why our ancestors basically held all of us accountable, because what we are practicing, what we are dealing with are cosmic knowledge and cosmic forces, and to an extent we do not understand them. Now there is a restraint that comes with it. In the absence of that restraint, it means that anybody can do anything and get away with it. So to basically balance us and basically hold us together, our ancestors instituted these principles like this, and they ensured that me and you and I, that we do the right thing, not just for ourselves, but we do the right thing and how we interact with our neighbors. Because even now that this principle has been weakened, we can see people going out of their way to do so many kinds of wickedness with these kinds of principles. So with the absence of these rights and protocols of Ijide Ani, then we would have truly destroyed ourselves, which is basically human nature, especially us knowing that we are basically in an age of Pazi and an age of wickedness, where anybody can basically decide to do anything that he or she wants and think he will get away with it. So this is the reason why our ancestors instituted this principle, in order to hold the land and also hold us accountable by restraining us and some of our actions. If you like this page and you like these kinds of content, don't forget to follow for more. Let us rejuvenate the original ancestral perception of what Ordinary is, and try to destroy or basically uncover and destroy Western perception of what our spirituality is all about. Yagazia.